weren't really sure what was going on, just that you were off and you didn't know why. After you looked at the film, could you figure it out?
It usually pertains to my footwork. My footwork. The timing of it's good. I just got to work on a couple things. I was quick on a couple throws, I think that it's nothing that I have to really be worried about. I've made a lot of throws, and I can just hang it in there a little bit longer and just complete the ball. You're just playing pitch and catch. That's all.
Do you find when your footwork's off that the ball tends to sail?
That's usually the case for any quarterback or anybody who's throwing anything. I think just having great balance and just having great footwork all the time, and that's what I work on. That's what I try to focus on every day. So I'm looking forward to that.
What's the key to keeping that consistent from week to week?
Just keep practicing. Just keep doing what I'm doing, and keep learning and keep studying as much as I can.
If it happens this week or whenever it happens, how much is life easier for you when Max Unger's back in the lineup?
Well, to have a Pro Bowl center in there, Max Unger, he makes a difference. He's a great football player, one of the best centers in the National Football League. So he does a great job. He communicates extremely well. He's phenomenal. I think the other guys have really done a great job of stepping up, though. You think about Lewis, you think about Schilling, the things that they've had to do, and to step into our offense and to make some calls and to make sure that we're in the right spot, and then me adjust some calls and make sure that everything is in order. I think they've done a tremendous job, and they've played some great football for us, and that's gonna be huge for us down the road too. To have guys in terms of Lewis and have guys like Schilling to be able to step into the game and have no hesitation, have no fear. That's big for us.
Those meetings that you have with Max, and you talked about how you guys kind of look over the calls, and how much does that help that you're both seeing the same thing?
Well, it's huge that the quarterback and the center see the same thing, and Max and I definitely have that relationship. Same with Schilling and Lewis too as well. They meet. We all meet together on Fridays and during the week too, on Wednesdays and Thursday mornings. But Fridays is kind of our alone time where we just kind of study as much as we can and go through each clip. And so we'll be ready to go, and I'm excited about it.
When you look at the Giants person, do you not go back that far since they've changed quite a bit since even last year?
Well, I always go back. I always try to look back in terms of just trying to figure out, what type of calls they were making, what we did well, what didn't work so well, where we could have been better. So yeah, of course I watched the games. I watched the last year's game, the year before, or 2 years before actually. And then, getting ready for this game, you just study as much as you can. You watch all the third downs, you watch the red zone, you watch all their blitz, packages, and just study as much as you can. So that way, when you see them, bringing pressure from the right or from the left, you know what it looks like.
Is their most recent game any more important than one that's less recent? In other words, Monday night game indicate anything that matters, or do you have to all consider?
Well, I always think that the most recent game you play, it shows what you guys can do and what you can't do sometimes, but it doesn't show everything. For us, for example, on offense, we didn't have our best game, but we've had a lot of great games, so I think that they're a great football team. They have a lot of great players on that side of the ball. You think about their leader in the secondary in terms of role. Rogers Camargo's a good football player too as well, and he's made a lot of plays. We played him in the Super Bowl. He's got a lot of speed. You think about their front seven. They have a lot of athletic guys on the D line, and so for us, we're just going to be we're going to have to be on our stuff and make sure we're executing. Our attention to detail is is going to be, on point. And more than anything, in terms of our offense, the tempo is really important for us. Staying on schedule, getting everybody moving, making sure we're not getting penalties, because a lot of times we'll get a big play and then we have to bring it back for whatever reason. And so we have to make sure that we eliminate that and keep doing what we do best.
What do you like about Rolls' game?
Well, he's so physical. He flies around. He's got great hands. He can do it all. He's a guy that has played a lot of football and played at a very, very high level. So his intelligence definitely shows up on film. His ability to catch the football and run around and make plays and get to the football and tackle guys. He shows up everywhere.
What kind of weapon has Marshawn Lynch become for you in the passing game?
Well, Marshawn is a guy that can do it all too. He's a guy that can run the football so physically, so physical, and he catches the ball extremely well. He's like a wideout out there. So what he can do, coming out of the backfield and catching the football, and then once he makes a guy miss, you never know what may happen. So. You want to have those weapons in terms of the running back position, and to have a guy like Marshawn Lynch, a star player in the National Football League, catching the football for you and running the football for you is huge. And then you have a guy like Robert Turbin who can step up and do the exact same thing, and Christian Michael is pretty spectacular at that too as well.
When there's a game where you or the offense isn't functioning the way you want, how much do you kind of take pride in trying to get it fixed by the next game?
I take a lot of pride in it. I take so much pride in our offense and what we do and what we're capable of. I always think we can play better. Whether if we go for 400 yards or run for 400 yards or whatever the circumstances are. The ultimate goal for me, though, is to win the football game. It doesn't matter. I'm the last person to care about stats. I'm the last person to care about, all that. I want to play at a high level for sure. And I think the more that I play at a high level, the better that our chances are of winning. And so, we're right there. That's what we've been talking about in our room and with the receivers and the tight ends and running backs and everybody, all the O-line. We're right there. And we're missing a few guys. To have a few guys come back here soon will be big for us too, I think. And we just got to keep hammering away. We just got to keep practicing hard at a high level. And, we're in a very, very good situation.
What was your initial impression of Tony Moeaki?
He's a great football player too. He catches the ball extremely well. We were just talking about that in walkthrough. Moeaki, I was trying to figure out how to pronounce his name. And my quarterback coach, it's like teriyaki, but with a little mo in front of it. So, but he's played a lot of football too. He played for the Chiefs. I think he caught like 53 balls or 55 balls for the Chiefs. 2010, 2012, he caught like 35, 33 or something like that. So, he can. He's caught a lot of footballs, and to have him out here on the first day and to see him adjust and see him play at the level he played at yesterday in practice was pretty cool to watch.
How difficult is it when the entire left side of the line are guys you're particularly accustomed to playing with?
Well, when you have guys that you haven't necessarily played a bunch with, you just have to believe that they're going to make the plays, and they do. I trust those guys, completely. So. And the more the experience they get, the better. It's like I think about Sweezy and I. Our first game. We played in the Arizona Cardinals. Away. We had a lot of tough battles in that game. We had a lot of things happen in that game. But you learn from your experiences, and you keep growing, you keep building, and that's the great part about sports in general, but the game of football. And when it's the best team sport, in the world, you lean on other guys, you lean on each other, and you just trust each other, and that's how you win football games, and that's what we've been able to do, and that's what we're going to keep doing.
Kind of a strange game though, where you go in the huddle and maybe it's a different line combination every series. It seems like.
Well, Coach Cable does a good job of changing guys in and out throughout practice and throughout training camp and all that. So I'm used to those guys, and our communication's great. We have tons of meetings, so we all meet in here and communicate and talk. So not when I look at a guy in a huddle, I don't think about who it is necessarily. I'm just ready that they're wearing. I'm just excited they're wearing the Seahawks jersey. Let's just go. So that's the way I look at it.
Is there anything you can do to cut down on the pre-snap penalties that have kind of hit you guys this year?
I've been thinking about that too. I think that maybe just always communicating a little bit better if I have to. And making sure that I really engage in the huddle and do everything that I can to make sure I grab everybody's attention and say, this is important. Hey, this is the situation here. I usually try to do that, but maybe a little bit more. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to be successful. I'm willing to do.
Opponent's schedule something that you ever look to take advantage of with the Giants playing on Monday and then having to travel across the country?
I never really pay attention to that stuff. The only time I really pay attention like this past week when the Giants had to play on Monday night, the only thing that kind of helps me is I get to watch the game. So I get to watch the game Monday night. So that's kind of just how I use that to an advantage. But other than that, everybody's schedule is kind of different. Everybody's schedule in terms of different teams. You play so many tough teams every week. And that's what makes the National Football League the best league in all professional sports.
They've been struggling right now, but their ends have been pretty good. How much do you have to be aware of what Pierre Paul and Ayers are doing?
Well, we definitely have to slow down their ends. Pierre Paul and Ayers, they show up on film. They're electric. Coming off the football, and so we're gonna have to do a great job of slowing them down. And I know our guys are excited about it. It should be a good game, and we play a lot of great players, and those two guys are those type of caliber players for sure.
Entering the second half of the season, where do you feel like you guys are? It's kind of at the first half, you kind of assess it, and what do you think you need to do going forward?
I think we can be much better, and that's the exciting part. But I think we're right where we need to be, and we're about to hit this curve right here where you got I believe eight more games left, and so. Going into it, you just focus on one game at a time, and we're getting guys back, and guys are starting to heal up, and we're really figuring out, our identity and what we can do, and so we got a lot of young guys too, and that's a good thing though, because all these guys are getting experience. You think about Paul Richardson, you think about, Kevin Norwood, even Luke Wilson, who's a guy who's played a lot more football now because Zach Miller's been out, and Cooper Helfet. Those guys, they're playing tons of football. Kristen Michael, Robert Turbin, and Marshawn, they've played tons of football already. So, but you think about those guys having to step up and get in the game and making plays. That's what we're going with, and we trust them. We know that they can make all those plays. They're doing a great job of learning. Everybody stays here after hours and makes sure that we watch film and study as much as we can, and so. We're right in the right spot, and I know we're gonna keep pushing and keep moving forward, and there's no hesitation with us.
You mentioned Paul and Kevin; they've been getting more into the offense the last few weeks. How much have you seen them grow as they get that game experience?
Well, those two guys, Kevin Norwood and Paul Richardson, they played a lot of football already, in their careers. Obviously, Kevin playing at Alabama, it's big time football in front of a lot of the people. Then you think about Paul Richardson, a superstar wide receiver in the college football ranks, and be able to go against our guys. And they just learn so much. And their quest for knowledge is unbelievable. They ask so many questions. They want to know how to get better. They're very accountable. They want to be great football players. They catch the ball, so well. So, it's they don't really have any flaws, you know. And I think if they had any flaw, it's just be experience, and experience is necessary for those who aren't qualified, and they're definitely qualified for what they can do. And so they're terrific football players.
Russell, I know you don't do off-field stuff to be recognized for it, but how does it feel to be recognized for your on-field stuff?
You know, just to, yeah. What are you referring to? Yeah. So in terms of the Man of the Year thing, it's a tremendous honor. You know, just to you know, be associated with this, you know, organization, and to be with so many great football players on our football team. And you know, there's not just one. You know, there's so many guys. I know there's 53 plus guys in there that should be Man of the Year. So just to have this honor, you know, it's a blessing. You know, God is so amazing in my life, and I'm truly grateful just to have the opportunities that I get to have, and the people I get to interact with, and the kids I get to meet, and you know, and the game I get to play, you know, every Sunday. You know, I'm truly grateful for the people I get to be around.
When are you writing again?
Say again?
When are you going to write again?
When am I going to write again? Man, Players Tribune. I'm probably going to have to write again at some point here, probably at the end of the season.
In your new job, that you have to write a certain amount of times. I mean,
you know, I told Players Tribune, you know, this is my number one job. This is my number one gig. So, you know, I got to keep working on my writing now. I'm all right. Thank you guys. Go Hawks.